Me is Queen Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button and smack the bell. Somebody sent me a message and she said, what exactly is the moon sign? Now, I told you guys in your chart, your astrological chart is where everything in the heavens was when you were born. So where was the sun? Where was the moon? Where was Jupiter? Where was Uranus? Where was all of the heavenly bodies, all the major heavenly bodies, the planets, when you were born? Now, the moon is not a planet, but it's a very important aspect of your chart. So your sun is where the sun was when you were born. So the sun, in my case, was in Aquarius. It was February the 13th, 1977. The sun was in Aquarius. But the moon changes signs every couple days. So it's only in each sign for a couple days, 2 or 3 days tops. So that's why they ask you what time it was when you were born, what day and what place, because that affects all the placements of the heavenly bodies. So where the moon was when you were born is another important aspect of your chart. The moon sign, for me, the moon was in Sagittarius when I was born. So your moon sign is your inner self. It's your emotions. It's your emotional self. The inside of you, the side that you may not even let other people see. So it's how you emotionally and internally respond to things. So I'm Aquarius sun sign, but I'm a Sagittarius moon. So that means that emotionally and on the inside, I have more of the heart of a Sag. Now, the Sagittarius and the Aquarius are a lot alike, though. So it doesn't really help me very much. You know, we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. We're both runners. Aquarius and a Sagittarius, we will run away from a relationship faster than you can say hot damn, you know. We both love to travel, and we're both often into spirituality and things along those lines. We're both philosophers. We like to think. We're intelligent. So a lot of our characteristics are very, very similar. So it doesn't really help me much because it doesn't give me much variation. If I had something like a earth moon, like a Capricorn moon or a water moon, you know, something along those lines, it would probably help in some of the areas of my life. You know, probably balance out some of the areas a little bit more, but I didn't get that. So all I got was this fire. So I got all this air and all this fire, and I got to make it work. So that's what your moon sign is. Your moon sign is your internal mood. Some people will say to me sometimes, I don't feel like my sun sign. I don't feel like a Taurus. I don't feel like an Aquarius. I don't feel like a Capricorn. And the first thing I tell them is look and see what your moon sign and your rising sign is. Because the sun, the moon, and the rising are the 3 most important placements on your chart. All the other ones weigh in there big time, but those are the 3 most important ones, especially on your personality. So if you find yourself like, I don't really feel like a Taurus, you should look up those 2 signs. Find out what your moon is and find out what your rising sign is. And remember, you need to have your time of birth, your place of birth, and your date of birth to do your entire chart. And you can go to astro.com. And astro.com will print out, you can punch in your information and they'll tell you your moon sign. They'll tell you where Jupiter was. They'll tell you all of those things. They'll give you your whole, what they call birth or natal chart. They'll give you your whole chart. Now, deciphering it is another story. You can do your chart for free at astro.com and then look each one up. You can, you know, for instance, let's say your moon is in Cancer. You can look it up in Google and say, what does it mean when my moon is in Cancer? And a million websites will come up talking about moon in Cancer. And you can read it and see. Sometimes you're more tilted towards your moon sign because of the other placements in your chart. Your moon sign might be stronger than your sun sign. Some of the times your rising sign is strong and you tilt more towards that. Sometimes they're balanced and they kind of just even you out. It really depends. Every chart is so different. They're so different. So I would suggest that any of you who don't know your moon sign, your placements, and all of that, go to astro.com, get your natal chart. Even if you don't do anything with it, at least you'll have it. And when people talk about stuff, you can look up and say, oh, is that me? Oh, my moon's there. Oh, that's me. You know, you will at least know through conversations over time. Even if you choose not to look it up, you'll know over time when people talk about stuff, you'll get little hints about yourself. But I always recommend to people that they get their chart done because knowing your astrological chart does give you a lot of information about yourself. Seriously. Between my tarot cards and my astrology, that's how I became self-aware. That's how I did it. It was looking at myself and looking at the things that were going on. Because depending upon where the heavenly bodies are when you were born, it says a lot about your life. It says a lot about things that'll trip you up. It says a lot about those kinds of things. And it explains to you. Like the other day, I had found some information about one of my planets. And it was talking about how one of my tasks would be to deal with anger management. And I was like, that's exactly what I've been working on. But I didn't realize until I read it that it was already in my chart. Then I also found for that same thing, I found out that people with that placement have the tendency to be very resilient, to live very hard lives and be very resilient. And I was like, oh, wow. People always tell me that it's amazing to them that I went through all the things I went through and I'm here now. And I'm like, I just thought, you know, self-determination, prayer, resilience, God is blessings, you know. But the other thing I found out in my chart was that it also was in my destiny. It was in my destiny to live a hard life and be able to overcome the obstacles that came towards me. So I'm like, oh, wow, you know, and the more I learn about astrology, the more I read my tarot cards, the more I do prayers, the more I do ritual, the more I go into nature, the more I learn about myself. So the more you know about yourself, the better you can live. You know, you can make better choices for yourself. So I find them to be extremely beneficial. Some people will say to me sometimes that they don't like, why would I want to know that? Why would I care where my moon is? Because these things are going to tell you clues about yourself and how you can change things you do and don't like. Like, for example, it was talking to me about the anger and management part. And it was saying that that was a part of my chart. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly something that I've been working on. Because I've always said that I don't like being angry. And over the years, I've got myself to the point of being able to control my anger. In a lot of cases, not even show it. But I don't even like getting there. You know, I always get to the point and then I work to push it back down. I'm like, how can I stop it from rising in the first place? So that's what I'm learning now. And come to find out, this particular journey was already destined. Anybody who read my chart in 1977 would have seen that that was one of the things I was going to struggle with. So it's really cool if you look at your chart, you can see your struggles and some of the times they don't give you information on how to deal with it. Like it said that I would have to deal with anger management, but it didn't tell me how. That's where tarot comes in. Okay, this is the issue. How do I deal with it? Let me pull some cards. So these systems and these energies work together. So if you want to know your moon sign, that's how you find out. You just go to astro.com. Sometimes I do charts for people. They're very time consuming. I charge $100 to do a chart because not only do I have to go to astro.com and do the chart, I then have to decipher what each thing is talking about. And it's long. It's long. The last time I did one for somebody, it was like 12 pages. And we then sat after I finished it for an hour and talked about what pitfalls were there and how to work out of them and what problems were there and how to fix it and things like that. So it is something that I charge $100 for because it's a lot of time. 12 pages? I was sitting there like, oh my God. But it's a lot of beneficial work and she'll have that document forever. So like I said before, if you want to do it yourself, go to astro.com. punch in all that information, and then sit there and read each placement. Where is your sun? My sun is in Aquarius. What does it mean to have a sun in Aquarius? What does it mean to have a moon in Sagittarius? What does it mean when your Mercury is in Aries? You know, look up each one of them and see what they mean. Okay? So if you would like to donate, please do. My PayPal will be underneath here. If you would like to get a tarot and oracle card reading, I will put my my email under here, and you can email me. If you would like me to answer a question for you, a general question for free, you can email me if it's personal, and you can write it under the comments section if it's not so personal. Okay? I won't give anybody your email information if you email me, so don't worry about it. And likewise, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you know somebody that could benefit from it, please pass it on. And as always, thank you for being here with me at Ask An Aquarius and giving me the opportunity to clean up my karma by helping you. See you later.